Let's bring in our guest this morning. Joining me now is former FBI Special Agent and attorney Stuart Kaplan and former CIA officer and FBI Special Agent Tracy Walder. Okay, help me make hay of this. Tracy, I'll start with you. This evidence that the jury, I believe, will now hear about Maggie's state of mind, that she was crying to the attorney saying, "We can't afford this lawsuit against my son. I can't afford it. I'll start over," is what she just told the judge.
So I think really what they're trying to do, at least from my perspective, is there's been a lot of question around sort of why did this murder take place when it did, right? Motive has really been sort of the key thing here that a lot of folks have really struggled with. And what I do think that the prosecution is trying to do is really speak towards that. So Maggie's state of mind, that she was aware of the financial issues that her family was facing, where there's been discussion in the past that maybe she wasn't. But this points to the fact that she was. Maybe there was a confrontation with Alex Murdaugh. We already know from testimony, I believe it was yesterday, that there was a status hearing in regards to this murder that took place on the boat that same week in which she and her son were killed. And so I think what a lot of this is going towards is motive and why this murder occurred when it did.
Stuart, you're an attorney. I spoke with one of the anchors from Court TV who's been inside the courtroom watching the jury's reaction to a number of different pieces of testimony. She said they had a visible, disgusted reaction when they heard the amount of money that Alex Murdaugh is accused of stealing from his law firm. What do you make of that and that observation?
And good morning, Marni. And so, one of the most important jury instructions at the onset of a trial when a jury is impaneled is a judge will tell the jurors to keep an open mind up until the time they are then sent to deliberate, meaning that they should not in any way deliberate or discuss the facts until such time as they are directed at the end of the trial. It is clear that a common sense approach, and one of the things that oftentimes a prosecutor will tell a prospective juror or even a defense attorney, is don't leave your common sense outside the courtroom doors. It is clear, and I would call this the cumulative tsunami effect. There is just so much circumstantial evidence that has come in to basically paint Alex Murdaugh just a Jekyll and Hyde type of character. Now, the flip side of that is, and one of the problems with this defense is that's what they were ultimately so concerned about, is that will a jury come back and convict him, not necessarily because there's ample or sufficient evidence beyond a reasonable doubt to suggest that he killed his wife and his son, but they just don't like him, they hate him, they loathe him because he's a thief and he's a fraudster, and thereby then easily be able to justify the criminal conviction for which he is being tried, meaning the murder. That's the problem with this case on the defense side. I do think, though, it speaks to, by way of example, you have a housekeeper on the stand, a former housekeeper. Just to imagine such a personal matter of a family being sued for $30 million, and this woman who was so upset and so grief-stricken shared that personal information with a housekeeper. I think the prosecutor will get up during closing arguments and make that position that I would make, that she was so distraught by the fact that her husband was being sued that it was creating such discourse amongst the family members.
So that witness back to testifying now, and we have just learned the judge denied the defense's request for a mistrial. Not a real big surprise, but more bad news for the defense teams. Clearly, they did not want the jury to hear from this witness. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.